Ah, here we go again with those people who think women are some kind of untouchable queens just because they have long hair and a charming smile, as if they deserve for you to become their doormat. Wake up, my friend. You're crawling, kissing up, and giving her all your attention just because she's a woman. What a joke. That's what's creating this generation of spoiled girls who step all over you, laugh in your face, and still wonder why you keep coming back. And you know what's worse? They know that no matter what they do, you'll be there, feeding their inflated egos. But today, we're going to change that nonsense. I'm going to give you 4 strategies that will deflate her ego faster than a punctured balloon. And as a bonus, she'll realize she might need to chase after you. Pay attention because I won't repeat myself. Number 1, control that pathetic excitement. Okay, you met a woman, and suddenly your life got brighter, right? Calm down, man, because if you go around all excited with that silly smile, you'll be treated like the new toy of the moment. Show her that you're head over heels and boom, you've just handed over the game on a silver platter. Women love being flattered, but guess what? They love stepping on those who do it even more. Exaggeration? Not at all. Plenty of guys treat women like they're the last cookie in the jar. And where are they now? That's right. Stuck in the friend zone or being manipulated like puppets. Now, listen up. You're not supposed to act like an emotionless robot, but you also don't need to act like she's the salvation of your existence. Don't be that idiot counting the minutes to the next date like she's some kind of goddess. Every time you show all that excitement, you're just inflating her ego. And the more her ego grows, the smaller you become. And when she's looking down on you, you know what's coming, right? You'll become just another guy she controls, turning you on and off like a remote control whenever she feels like it. Now, here's the master trick. Keep that stupid excitement to yourself. Play the indifference game. This will mess with her head in ways you can't even imagine. Because look, she's used to a line of fools licking her feet. When you come along and act like she's just another regular person, no desperation, no flattery, she gets shocked. She'll start thinking, how come this guy isn't treating me like a goddess? And that's when the magic happens. She's not going to ignore you and move on like you think. No, sir. Her ego, which was sky high yesterday, is going to take a few hits, and she'll find herself needing to win your attention again. She'll want to regain that queen position that you didn't even care about. You've gone from being the prey to the hunter without lifting a finger. This is the point you want to reach, where she feels compelled to chase you, trying to figure out how she lost control of the situation. So, my friend, stay sharp. No showing excitement right away. Let her expectations sink. Be controlled, detached, and most importantly, mysterious. By doing this, you not only deflate her ego, but also make her invest time and energy in trying to win you over, not the other way around. Number 2, stop being the idiot who falls for the jealousy game. Man, if there's one thing that exposes a weak man, it's when he starts flipping out over jealousy from any little game a woman plays on purpose. And trust me, a lot of them love this trick. They poke at you just to see if you'll react like an angry little puppy, showing that you're completely under their control. Want some advice? Don't fall for this ridiculous trap. A smart woman uses jealousy as an emotional control weapon. She doesn't care if you get offended or insecure. What matters is that when you take the bait, she feels like she owns the situation. And believe me, every time you show jealousy, her ego shoots through the roof because she knows she's got you wrapped around her finger. Now, if you have any brains, you'll simply ignore those cheap provocations. That's right, ignore them completely. She wants to test you. Great. Show her you don't give a damn. Act like you didn't even notice. Shrug it off and move on with your life like nothing happened. This will destroy her ego faster than a storm. You know why? Because she's used to guys throwing fits, exploding with jealousy, showing they're emotionally tied up. And when you don't react, she has no idea what to do with that. It blows her mind because she was expecting something else. And don't even think about chasing after her, explaining yourself, or worse, begging for attention. Don't play the fool. Your calmness and disinterest are like acid to her ego. She'll try everything to get under your skin, but when she realizes that nothing shakes your confidence, she'll feel completely disarmed. Indifference is kryptonite to women who live off mind games. And even better, you come out on top because while she's wasting energy trying to manipulate you, you're there, untouched and in control. So repeat after me. No jealousy, no drama, no crisis. Let her play those mental games alone. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who walks away with your dignity intact. And as a bonus, she'll be more lost than a blind man in a shooting range, trying to figure out how she lost control of the situation. If you're tired of being the idiot she uses as a doormat, accepting crumbs and still being kicked around like garbage whenever she feels like it, then wake up. It's time to stop swallowing disrespect and turn this dirty game around. Go to the description and get the digital book I left for you. After reading it, you'll learn how to be a real challenge, never bow your head again, and put any woman in her place without mercy. No more being trampled and discarded like a useless fool. If you want respect, then start acting like a man who commands it. Number 3, stop being her emotional puppet. One thing you need to learn fast is that her game only works if you give her the power. And that includes making it clear that nothing, absolutely nothing she does, will shake you. Did she ghost you without explanation? Is she trying to make you jealous with that basic trick of going offline to see if you freak out? Dude, the worst thing you can do is fall for it and start getting desperate for attention. Want her to feel in control? Simple. Show her that every move she makes can throw you off balance. But if you want to flip the script, you'll need to do the opposite. Does she try to provoke you? Act like you didn't even notice. Keep posting your photos, living your life, showing that the universe doesn't revolve around her. She'll go crazy when she realizes that her disappearance or little games don't affect you. Because, my friend, she expects you to crumble. She wants you to chase her, to beg for an explanation. It's in that desperation that her ego grows. Now, pay attention. There's no point in acting on impulse. You know that urge to send her a message or post a subtle dig on social media? Forget it. That only makes you look weak, and worse, hands the control right over to her. Keep calm. Be strategic. Show her you're steady, even when she tries to shake the tree. That's what breaks her ego. She'll realize that the control she thought she had over you never really existed. And even better, by staying in control, you automatically assume a position of power. Let her see that you're not one of those fools who crumble over cheap tricks. She'll rethink every move because no other guy will seem interesting when she sees you as the only one she can't manipulate. In short, stay firm, unshakable, and make sure she's the only one left desperate, trying to win your attention. Number 4, beauty? Big deal, ignore it. If you really want to mess with the ego of a spoiled woman, used to being treated like a work of art just because she's beautiful, here's the secret. Ignore her looks completely. Seriously, stop acting like she's the only beautiful woman on the planet. That's exactly what most guys do, and that's why she's used to being treated like a queen. But you're not going to be another one of those idiots drooling over a pretty face, are you? She's sitting there expecting you to drool over every physical detail like all the other fools do. But when you just don't care about that and focus on something else, anything that's not her looks, you basically disarm her most powerful weapon. Not that beauty doesn't have value, but when you don't feel the need to constantly remind her of it, you create a mystery. She'll start thinking, how come this guy isn't hypnotized by my beauty? And that's when you get inside her head without even trying. Now hold up. I'm not saying you should never compliment her, but do it strategically. Cheap, repetitive compliments lose their value. When you give a compliment, make it rare and special. But most importantly, highlight other things. Is she smart? Talk about that. Does she have a sense of humor? Focus on that. Anything that doesn't involve her reflection in the mirror. She needs to see that you're not one of those superficial guys who only notice the exterior. And guess what? That will disarm her ego in a way she won't even understand. While most men are fighting over her appearance, you'll be there, focusing on what really matters. And in that process, you'll stand out as someone who sees beyond the surface. The result? She'll want to know more about you because, for the first time, she's found someone who isn't trapped by the outer shell but sees what's inside. That destabilizes her ego and opens space for something more real, if that's what you're looking for, of course. So write this down. Beauty is just the packaging, but you'll focus on what's inside. Let others fight over the surface while you go straight for what truly matters. Number 5, stop being a miserable attention seeker. Now, let's cut the fluff and get straight to the raw truth you need to hear. Stop being a miserable, desperate attention seeker. Seriously, it's pathetic. Nothing is more off-putting than a man who acts like a woman's approval is the air he breathes. And don't give me excuses. If you're out there chasing after every little scrap of attention she throws your way, begging for even the smallest bit of validation, you've already lost the game and she knows it. You've turned into an emotional beggar, and don't tell me you haven't. You're sitting there thinking that an ignored message is the end of the world, that if she doesn't give you attention for a day, you have to lose your mind. Why? Because you've lost yourself. You think your worth comes from the amount of attention she gives you. What is this? A reality show where you need to be the fan favorite? Listen closely. The guy who's constantly running after validation is the same guy who will always be left eating dust. Because, my friend, no woman will ever respect a man who doesn't respect himself first. And you, crawling around for a bit of attention, are just showing that you have zero self-respect. And you know what she does with that? She steps on it, crushes it, and laughs about it. Why? Because it's too easy. You handed her the game on a silver platter. So here's your wake-up call. Lift your head and stop being a desperate worm. You're out here humiliating yourself for a scrap of attention when you should be living your life. You know what happens when you finally stop chasing after her? When you stop acting like you need her validation to exist? She realizes you're different. She realizes she can't control you like the other fools at her feet. You don't need attention. She does. And when you understand that, the game completely changes. Now stop whining and start putting this into practice. Because if you keep acting like an emotional beggar, you better get used to being ignored. Look, if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm going to make it crystal clear. Either you change this pathetic attitude of chasing after validation, or you're going to keep getting stepped on, not just by this woman, but by any woman who sees how emotionally weak you are. The issue here isn't about them, it's about you. It's about you stopping being your own biggest obstacle in life. Do you want respect? Do you want admiration? Do you want things to change? Then the change starts with you. Stop acting like a sad case, as if your life depends on whether or not she notices you. Wake up to reality, because no one will respect you until you respect yourself. And more importantly, stop selling yourself short. Stop acting like attention or love is something you need to beg for. Because, my friend, the day you truly understand your worth, the game changes. Not just with women, but with everything in your life. So enough of the nonsense. Start acting like the man you want to be, not like the boy she wants to control. The control is in your hands, but you've got to be willing to hold it tight. Now close this video and go do something that actually makes you better. The world is full of people crawling. Are you going to keep being one of them? Or are you going to lift your head and take control? The choice is yours. End of story.